Now, the entire point of this lesson is to look at card covers. And really, this is something very personal. Does it work for you? Mind maps work for me. For a really good friend of mine, it was flashcards. Card covers didn't really exist it wasn't something that I was taught about. And biology and science itself, as I keep saying, is a language, and biology is full of words that you need to learn. The digestive system is one of my favourite bits. Um, because when I was 18, I was in the medical building in Manchester, and I got to dissect people. And the small intestine was the first part of a human body where I actually put my hands into somebody's organs. So yeah, a lot of memories for me for the human digestive system. I was petrified. I was absolutely scared the first time I dissected a person. Actually, I didn't even dissect. I was just so scared. We all were, we all were in this massive pathology lab, and there was a cadaver body in front of us, and we had to dissect the abdomen and look at the digestive system. And I was so, yeah, a real person. Abdomen sad, yes. Um, so yeah, it was a real person. It was the first time I'd actually seen a real dead body like that and had to touch one and dissect one. I wasn't the only person there. At Manchester University has a huge pathology lab, and I think there was 400 of us in there, in groups of maybe four, and we each had a cadaver each. So yeah, it was a real person. Um, so yeah, it was scary as an understatement. It's an understatement. And so yeah, so human biology has it's always fascinated me. What's inside me? Why do I get tummy ache and things like that? And since I was younger than you, and so the human digestive system is very close to me. So you're going to learn about it. You're going to learn the words, and I'm going to show you some interesting words that I find, and then we're going to change them into a card cover. I'm going to show you how to use it. Now, the digestive system starts at your mouth. Yeah, okay, so that's a bit of a, you know, all right term to use. I like some really cool, I love words. I think words are really cool. So another word for the mouth is a buccal cavity. I just love it. I think that's such a cool word to call it, you know. So the buccal cavity is your mouth, and that's where digestion starts. And it starts with mechanical digestion. Mechanics is the study of moving things. And what we mean by mechanical digestion is your teeth chew your food. That's it. And the reason we chew food is a little bit of chemistry. It's to increase the surface area for your enzymes, which are tiny little machines. When I think my daughter was 7, and she think enzymes are tiny little machines, and enzymes break down your food. There's an enzyme in your spit. Oh my God! I've been teaching this for so long, and I've forgotten. If you take a boring piece of bread and start chewing on it, you can try this at home. It's just like bread. If you keep chewing it, the enzyme in your mouth called amylase, which is here, amylase. All right, oopsie days, that's a bit big. The enzyme in your mouth called amylase there starts breaking down starch, which is really dull and boring, into a sugar called maltose. And actually, it starts tasting sweet. Right? So maltose is a sugar, amylase is an enzyme, and that's in your mouth. Now, from your mouth, your food goes down your food pipe. I don't like the term food pipe because I love language. And I'm going to call that the esophagus. And it squishes your food. It squeezes your food from your mouth into your stomach. And again, another cool word, peristalsis. All right. Now, these two words you don't need to know, but I like words. And I'm just doing it because I love science and I like words and I'm going to use them. So, once your food gets to your stomach, there's more mechanical digestion. That is something that I mentioned last week. It gets squishy, squishy, squishy. Your stomach has got smooth muscle that squishes, churns your food. I don't mind, I said last week, if we're doing a test, you're like, squishes your food. I don't mind. All right. Now, inside your stomach, there are two things you need to know. The first one is an enzyme called protease. It breaks down proteins. Okay. The other thing which is really cool is hydrochloric acid. Believe it or not, your stomach has really strong acid in it. It's hydrochloric acid. The strongest acid in the animal kingdom is found in the stomach of a crocodile, and it will break down bone. That's how strong their hydrochloric acid is. The hydrochloric acid in your stomach is so strong that when you vomit, your teeth feel weird because the acid in your stomach starts attacking it. Okay, so now we've got a problem. You've got this hydrochloric acid in your stomach here, and it's digesting, and it comes out here into your small intestine, in to your duodenum, the first part of your small intestine. The problem you've got is you've got this acid, and it's going to start digesting you. So what your body needs to do is release something that neutralizes that acid. Bowel something else, but I'll talk to you about that in a second. So you want to neutralize that acid. Okay? Now, you neutralize the acid, you actually make it slightly alkaline. So you release your pancreas makes some enzymes, and those enzymes are released into your small intestine, into your duodenum. Now, the second part is called the ileum. This is still your small intestine. This is where your body reabsorbs all the amino acids, the glucose, everything, the fatty acids, the glycerol, everything's broken down. It absorbs it there. All right, next part, your large intestine. I love talking about the large intestine because this is where you make poop. Poo! Your food being digested is very liquid. And what your large intestine does, it reabsorbs a lot of that water, producing poo, or if you be really cool, feces. All right? They are then stored in your rectum until you're so desperate you need to go for a poop, and it pops through your anus and into the toilet. Okay, now, your pancreas is an organ. It's there. It's here. Let me see. Oh, this time go to your pancreas. This is your pancreas, young ones. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of my arrows. This thing here, let's get rid of that. This funny looking yellow organ there. This one. That is your pancreas. Your pancreas makes a lot of things, but within digestion, it makes three enzymes. A different type of amylase that breaks down starch to maltose, protease, which breaks down proteins, and lipase that breaks down lipids. Right? It secretes them in an alkaline fluid. All right? This is to neutralize the acid. Okay, now, next thing, the liver. The liver is a massive organ. All right, it's this huge thing right there. That's your liver. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now your liver. It produces bile. All right. Now, who asked me that? Someone asked me about that bile. Who was it? Someone said bile. Yeah, you're supposed to know these keywords. Where are we? No, right. So who was it? Zoya, darling, you asked. Now, bile is made in your liver. It is not the acid, all right? And emulsifies fats. And what emulsification means is, now, fats and lipids and oils do not mix with water. So you have oil sat at the top, and you have water underneath, and they don't mix. And bile, or bile salts, bile allows them to mix, and that's called emulsification. All right, and that's really important. And it takes these big, separate oil and water, and it splits it into smaller droplets. So emulsification would look like both these two. So that would be your oil on the top. Emulsification would look like tiny little oil droplets. So the enzymes can work on the outside. Okay, your first step is to create bullet points for the content. When we look at this, I started making 3 of them. I've done the mouth, and I wrote from all this: mechanical digestion and amylase to break down starch to maltose. Get rid of a lot of the text, keep it as simple as possible. Esophagus pushes food from your mouth to your stomach. Stomach, mechanical breakdown, contains hydrochloric acid and protease for protein digestion. You've got to do the same thing for the small intestine, the large intestine, pancreas, and the liver. Once you've done that, you've got to do a card cover. And a card cover works like this. You read through them, you make your whole list, and you read through them for about a minute. After you read through them, you go, right, I can't see them anymore. What was the first one? Well, it was the mouth. That's mechanical digestion. Amylase for breaking down starch to maltose. I know this, so it's easy for me. You're going to find it tough. You put it down, go, right, next one, esophagus. What does that do? Oh, I can't remember. Put it down and read it. And you go through your list constantly, 10 times, until it sticks in your head. All right? Now, once you've done that, and here's a list of things you do, you then try to answer these questions here at the bottom.